Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to talk about a profound truth that many overlook in the pursuit of success. Small steps lead to big wins. So often we hear stories of great triumphs, incredible achievements, and remarkable success. But we fail to see the countless small actions and decisions that made those victories possible. The truth is, the road to greatness is paved not with giant leaps, but with consistent, deliberate steps. You see, success does not come overnight. It comes from the power of consistent effort. Consistency is one of the most powerful forces in shaping the trajectory of our lives and achieving any goal we set for ourselves. It is easy to overlook the importance of consistency because often it doesn't feel as glamorous as moments of sudden inspiration or large, dramatic breakthroughs. However, the reality is that long-term success and accomplishment are the direct result of consistent effort, even in the smallest of actions. Consistency is the key that unlocks the door to progress. Whether you're striving to achieve financial success, improve your physical health, develop a new skill, or build meaningful relationships, consistent action is essential to moving forward. This is because success doesn't typically emerge in one grand moment. Rather, it builds over time, accumulating from the compound effect of many small, deliberate actions. When we think about consistency, we need to understand that it doesn't mean perfection. It's not about doing everything exactly right every time. Rather, it's about showing up, taking action, and pushing through even when you don't feel like it. Consistency means having the discipline to continue, even when the results aren't immediately visible. For example, a person trying to improve their fitness might not see major changes in the first few weeks, yet every workout, every healthy meal, every early morning run is adding up. It's easy to dismiss the significance of a single step, but the value lies in doing it over and over again. One of the great advantages of consistency is that it builds momentum. At first, it may feel like you're barely moving forward. You might question if the effort is worth it, especially when it seems that progress is slow or hard to measure. But when you persist, something remarkable happens. Those small steps, when taken regularly, begin to gather speed and strength. What once felt like an insurmountable challenge starts to seem more manageable. The power of consistency lies in its ability to create a snowball effect, where the results of your actions become larger and more significant over time. Moreover, consistency is the antidote to self-doubt and procrastination. When you commit to showing up every day, regardless of how you feel, it reduces the opportunity for distractions to interfere with your path. You stop waiting for the perfect moment or the right inspiration to take action. Instead, you start recognizing that taking any action, no matter how small, is better than doing nothing at all. The small steps you take on a consistent basis allow you to keep moving forward, even when the conditions aren't ideal. What makes consistency so powerful is its ability to transform us. It forces us to become more disciplined, more focused, and more resilient. Over time, consistency also builds habits, and habits shape our character and mindset. When you consistently work toward a goal, you develop a sense of determination that turns into a core part of who you are. Eventually, the effort becomes second nature, and success is not only possible but inevitable. Consistency also promotes improvement and mastery. The more you practice something, the better you get at it. Whether it's writing, playing an instrument, or running, the act of doing something over and over again leads to gradual improvement. In this sense, consistency is a tool for growth. You refine your techniques, sharpen your skills, and develop a deeper understanding of your craft. Even when you don't feel like you're improving in the moment, consistency assures you that progress is happening. In the pursuit of success, many individuals are paralyzed by the idea of perfection. We often set ourselves up for frustration and disappointment by believing that every action, every decision, and every moment must be flawless. However, the reality is that perfection is often an illusion. No journey toward achievement follows a straight, uninterrupted line to an infinite endpoint. Instead, true success comes from focusing on progress, the small, incremental steps that move us forward, even if we're not perfect along the way. The pursuit of perfection can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can drive us to achieve great things by setting high standards. But on the other hand, it often leads to self-doubt, procrastination, and a sense of constant inadequacy. The constant pressure to be perfect can halt action altogether. Many people spend so much time trying to make everything perfect that they never actually get started, or worse, they give up before they make any real progress. The truth is, perfection is an unrealistic standard that can only slow down your journey, while progress is an actionable, tangible reality that propels you forward. Focusing on progress means embracing the fact that mistakes are not failures, but opportunities for growth. Each small step forward, even if it's not executed flawlessly, is a step in the right direction. In fact, some of the most valuable lessons come from our imperfections. When we acknowledge that errors are part of the process, we can remove the fear of failure and embrace experimentation. This shift in mindset is crucial because it allows us to learn from what doesn't work and refine our approach rather than getting discouraged by our shortcomings. In this regard, progress can be seen as a journey, not a destination. Each day offers an opportunity to improve, learn, and get closer to our goals. Rather than waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal condition, or the flawless outcome, progress teaches us to start now and keep moving, even if our efforts are small. When we focus on progress rather than perfection, we prioritize action over hesitation. A small amount of action today is more valuable than waiting for the perfect plan to materialize. A perfectionist often waits for everything to be aligned, but by the time that happens, the moment to act has passed. Additionally, focusing on progress builds momentum. Once you begin to take consistent, progressive steps, you begin to gather speed, confidence, and energy. Progress breeds enthusiasm. The more you accomplish, the more motivated you become to take on new challenges. Each small win, whether it's completing a task or making a breakthrough in your thinking, feeds your sense of accomplishment and propels you forward. In contrast, the pursuit of perfection often leads to frustration, as you are constantly measuring yourself against an impossible standard and feeling defeated when you don't reach it. By focusing on progress, you also create room for innovation and creativity. When perfection is your goal, you may become rigid in your thinking, avoiding risks and playing it safe in fear of making mistakes. However, when you allow yourself to prioritize progress, you create a mindset where taking calculated risks becomes part of the process. You open yourself up to new ideas, approaches, and solutions that might have otherwise been shut out by the constraints of perfectionism. By making progress, you build resilience, your capacity to adapt, improve, and keep moving forward no matter the setbacks. Focusing on progress also cultivates a growth mindset. Those who are fixated on perfection often believe that success is a fixed trait, something to either attain or fail to attain. But when progress is the focus, you understand that success is the result of continuous effort and learning. A growth mindset shifts the perspective from a fixed goal to an ongoing process of development, where every step counts and no effort is wasted. The compound effect is one of the most powerful and often overlooked forces that can shape the trajectory of our lives. It is the principle that small, consistent actions, when repeated over time, yield significant results. In many areas of life, whether personal, financial, or professional, the compound effect reveals how the accumulation of little efforts can have a profound impact. To understand the power of the compound effect, it's helpful to first recognize that our daily habits, no matter how small, form the foundation of our future successes or failures. The small, seemingly insignificant choices we make every day, what we eat, how we spend our time, how we approach our work, and even the people we associate with may not seem important in the moment. But over time, these decisions begin to accumulate and compound, creating momentum in one direction or the other. The compound effect works in both positive and negative ways. If you consistently make healthy choices, such as eating nutritious meals, exercising, and prioritizing sleep, these small habits will compound over time to improve your physical health, energy levels, and overall well-being. On the flip side, if you make small negative choices every day, like neglecting your health, procrastinating, or engaging in unproductive behaviors, those habits will also compound, leading to undesirable results. It's easy to think that a single indulgence, a moment of procrastination, or a minor setback won't make much difference, but over time, the cumulative impact of those small actions can add up in ways that either propel you forward or pull you back. One of the greatest powers of the compound effect is that it doesn't require massive, dramatic actions to see results. Instead, it operates on the principle that small, consistent actions done repeatedly will create lasting change. This is why it is important to focus on the process rather than seeking immediate results. Think about something as simple as saving money. If you start by saving just a small amount each week, you may not see a significant difference in your bank account at first. But as the weeks and months pass, those small contributions begin to accumulate, and you start seeing the compound growth. The interest compounds and your savings grow exponentially. The compound effect also applies to knowledge and skill building. Learning a new skill, like playing an instrument or mastering a new language, requires regular practice. In the beginning, your progress might feel slow or even non-existent. You may wonder if you're really improving. However, as you stick to it and practice regularly, you begin to see improvements. Over time, your skills grow and you become more proficient. Just like saving money, each practice session may seem insignificant, but the compounding effect of consistent effort over time leads to mastery. Another powerful aspect of the compound effect is its ability to create momentum. Once you start to see small, incremental improvements, it can generate a positive feedback loop. Success breeds motivation. The more progress you make, the more motivated you become to continue. That initial small step toward your goal becomes the catalyst for further steps, and eventually, you gain the confidence and drive to reach even higher levels of achievement. Similarly, the compound effect extends to the people we surround ourselves with. By consistently choosing to build relationships with people who inspire, motivate, and challenge us, we begin to see the positive effects of those relationships compound over time. Conversely, if we consistently engage with individuals who bring negativity or distractions into our lives, their influence compounds in the opposite direction. Our relationships shape who we are and where we go, and the compound effect amplifies their impact. Ultimately, leveraging the compound effect means understanding that small actions matter. It's about making intentional choices that contribute to long-term success and realizing that consistency is more important than occasional bursts of extraordinary effort. The power of the compound effect lies in its ability to create extraordinary outcomes from seemingly small, everyday actions. Failure is often seen as the ultimate setback, the moment where all our efforts seem to crumble and our dreams feel distant. Society frequently teaches us to avoid failure at all costs, to fear it and to see it as something to be ashamed of. However, if we shift our perspective, we can understand that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a necessary part of the journey. Embracing failure as a stepping stone is a mindset shift that allows us to learn, grow, and ultimately achieve greater success. When we experience failure, it often feels like a deep personal defeat. We may feel embarrassed, frustrated, or disheartened. But failure, in reality, is not an indication of our worth or potential. Instead, it is an opportunity to gather valuable lessons that can propel us forward. Each time we fail, we gain information that teaches us what doesn't work. In this sense, failure is simply feedback. It reveals gaps in our knowledge, areas where we need improvement, or strategies that need refinement. The key to leveraging failure is to recognize it as part of a process rather than a verdict on our abilities. One of the most powerful ways failure serves us is by helping us refine our approach. Failure forces us to confront our limitations, rethink our strategies, and adapt to new circumstances. When something doesn't work out the way we hoped, it presents us with the chance to analyze the situation objectively and adjust our course. Instead of allowing failure to defeat us, we can use it as a tool for innovation. It challenges us to dig deeper, think creatively, and explore new solutions. Many of the world's greatest inventors, entrepreneurs, and leaders have failed multiple times before achieving success. Each failure gave them the opportunity to improve their ideas, their methods, and their persistence. Moreover, failure teaches us resilience. The ability to bounce back from failure is perhaps one of the most valuable skills we can develop in life. Failure has a unique way of testing our character and fortitude. The more we experience failure and choose to rise from it, the stronger we become. Over time, we build an unshakable confidence in our ability to handle setbacks and keep moving forward. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about having the courage to keep going in spite of it. Each time we embrace failure, we develop the mental toughness needed to overcome obstacles and persist in our pursuit of success. Failure also pushes us beyond our comfort zone. Often it is only by stepping into the unknown, by taking risks and challenging ourselves, that we encounter failure. If we only stick to what is safe and familiar, we limit our potential for growth. Failure forces us to stretch our boundaries, to venture into unfamiliar territories, and to test the limits of what we're capable of. In this way, failure acts as a catalyst for personal and professional growth. By embracing it, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and opportunities that we would never have encountered if we had played it safe. Lastly, failure fosters humility and self-awareness. When we fail, we are reminded that we are not infallible. This humbling experience can bring us closer to reality and help us become more grounded in our pursuits. It's easy to develop an inflated sense of self when we succeed, but failure reminds us of our imperfections and encourages us to approach challenges with a learning mindset. It allows us to stay humble, focused, and open to growth. In the grand scheme of things, failure is not a roadblock, it is part of the pathway to success. Every great achievement is built upon a foundation of failures, lessons learned, and obstacles overcome. When we embrace failure as a stepping stone, we free ourselves from the fear that holds us back and unlock the potential to move forward with greater strength, insight, and determination. In a world where distractions are constant and future goals dominate our thoughts, it is easy to overlook the importance of the present moment. Our minds are often preoccupied with worries about the future or regrets from the past, but true success and fulfillment come from learning to master the present. The present moment is where life truly happens, and it is in this moment that we can take action, make decisions, and cultivate the mindset that leads to lasting change. Mastering the present moment requires a deep level of awareness and presence. It means fully engaging with what is happening right now, rather than allowing our minds to drift into the past or future. It's about recognizing that the present is all we have, the future has not yet arrived, and the past can no longer be altered. By embracing this truth, we stop wasting time dwelling on what cannot be changed and focus our energy on what we can control, the present moment. One of the most important aspects of mastering the present is cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully aware of what is happening around us and within us without judgment. It allows us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings with clarity and openness. By being mindful, we create space to make intentional choices rather than acting out of habit or automatic responses. This heightened awareness helps us respond to situations more thoughtfully and with greater presence. It also helps reduce stress and anxiety as we stop worrying about what might happen and focus on what is happening right now. Another essential aspect of mastering the present is eliminating distractions. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, from smartphones and social media to endless to-do lists. These distractions pull us away from the present and scatter our focus. To master the present, we must consciously choose to limit these distractions and create environments that foster concentration. This might mean setting aside time each day to focus on a single task, creating boundaries around technology use, or learning to say no to things that take us away from what truly matters. By doing so, we give ourselves the gift of being fully present in each moment. Mastering the present moment also involves embracing the power of action. It is easy to get caught up in the idea of someday I'll start that project, someday I'll work on my health, someday I'll take that risk. But waiting for the perfect moment often means waiting forever. By mastering the present, we understand that action is what propels us forward. Every small step taken today moves us closer to our goals. Focusing on the present means taking that first step, no matter how small, and doing it now. It's about realizing that the future is built on the actions we take today, and that every moment counts. The present moment also holds the key to building momentum. When we focus on the task at hand and give it our full attention, we create a sense of accomplishment and progress. Each action, no matter how small, compounds and propels us forward. The more present we are, the more we can build on our efforts, creating positive feedback loops that reinforce our momentum. This continuous cycle of focused action leads to greater productivity, success, and personal growth. By embracing the present, we tap into an endless source of energy and drive that keeps us moving toward our goals. Moreover, mastering the present moment is about letting go of perfectionism. So often we wait for the perfect conditions or the perfect execution before taking action. However, perfectionism paralyzes us, keeping us stuck in a cycle of planning without doing. The present moment, however, is free from the constraints of perfection. It encourages us to take imperfect action, learn from our mistakes, and grow along the way. By letting go of the need for everything to be perfect, we allow ourselves to fully engage with the process of progress rather than fixating on the outcome. Finally, mastering the present is about embracing gratitude. The more we focus on the present, the more we can appreciate the small, beautiful moments that make up our lives. Gratitude shifts our perspective and helps us find joy in the here and now, rather than constantly chasing after future successes or dwelling on past failures. By cultivating gratitude in the present moment, we create a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that transcends external circumstances. It is this gratitude that fuels our passion, motivation, and drive to continue moving forward. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to become fixated on the end goal, the destination, or the outcome we desire. We often think that once we reach a certain place, whether it's achieving a career milestone, completing a project, or reaching personal success, that we will finally be content. However, the true value of our efforts doesn't lie solely in the final destination. The real power comes from believing in the journey itself. The experiences, lessons, and growth we gain along the way shape who we are and influence the kind of success we eventually achieve. The journey is where transformation happens. Each step we take, every obstacle we face, and each moment we learn from has a profound impact on our development. Success is not just about reaching a finish line, it's about the process, the small victories, the challenges, and the resilience we cultivate. When we focus only on the end result, we miss out on the most valuable parts of the experience. The journey itself is where we learn the most about our capabilities, strengths, and weaknesses. It is through this journey that we discover our true potential. One of the most powerful aspects of believing in the journey is understanding that growth is not linear. Success doesn't always come in a straight line, and progress often involves setbacks, detours, and unexpected twists. The path may not always look like we imagined, but that's part of the beauty. These detours often lead us to new insights, ideas, and perspectives that we would never have encountered if we had followed a rigid plan. By embracing the journey, we come to understand that setbacks aren't failures, but rather opportunities to adjust our approach, learn, and grow stronger. Moreover, when we shift our focus from the destination to the journey, we begin to appreciate the smaller moments. The joy of making progress, no matter how incremental, becomes more fulfilling. Every step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the larger picture. The day-to-day experiences and challenges, which might seem insignificant a moment, hold great value when viewed in retrospect. Whether it's the lessons learned from a difficult conversation, the discipline gained through regular practice, or the confidence built through repeated efforts, these moments form the foundation of our ultimate success. Believing in the power of the journey also allows us to develop patience. In a culture that often prizes instant gratification, it's easy to become discouraged when results don't appear right away. However, the journey requires persistence and the understanding that real success takes time. By focusing on the process, we learn to enjoy the effort itself rather than becoming obsessed with immediate rewards. We begin to recognize that true fulfillment comes from the progress we make rather than the final outcome. This mindset enables us to remain motivated even when we don't see immediate results because we trust in the long-term value of our efforts. In addition, the journey is where we can build resilience. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, and every failure endured strengthens our ability to cope with adversity. Life is full of ups and downs, and the journey teaches us how to handle uncertainty, pressure, and difficulty with grace and perseverance. As we face setbacks, we become more adaptable, more creative in problem solving, and more determined to push through. It's in the journey that we develop the mental toughness required to keep moving forward, no matter how daunting the road may seem. Finally, when we believe in the power of the journey, we begin to find meaning in every experience. We realize that success is not only about achieving a specific goal, but about the lessons, relationships, and personal growth we experience along the way. Even in the face of challenges, we can find value in how we respond, what we learn, and the person we become as a result. The journey provides us with a deeper understanding of who we are and what we truly want out of life, and in doing so, it helps us align our actions with our values and passions. By trusting the process, we come to see that every moment, every step contributes to the larger picture of our lives. In conclusion, the journey toward success is not defined by a singular moment of achievement, but by the small, consistent steps we take every day. By embracing failure, focusing on progress, and mastering the present moment, we unlock the true power of our potential. The compound effect teaches us that even the smallest efforts, when applied consistently, lead to extraordinary outcomes. As we navigate life, believing in the power of the journey helps us grow, adapt, and discover new possibilities. Ultimately, it is the journey itself that shapes us and transforms our dreams into lasting success.